forward to those satellite camps. I think Nebraska and Adidas did 2 in South Florida, 1 in Georgia. And,
yeah, we already got those penciled in. Our staff will definitely be there.
Tight ends group is as young as inexperienced as any on the team. What are you hoping to see out of those guys in the spring to position themselves to earn some playing time?
So the biggest thing for us, those guys, is really understanding all the things that we do schematically. They have to be an inline blocker, and then they have to play like a receiver. So in years past here, those guys were primarily, inline point of attack blockers. And we've worked the last 3 weeks to really work those guys, on their own, really trying to get out there and doing some things, try to help themselves become better pass catchers. They've already know how to block as far as point of attack. The biggest thing for us is getting those guys to play like receivers. And they've made some strides in the first couple of weeks I've been around and seeing them out there.
How this system compared to what they ran before, how different is it for the tight ends as far as what you're going to ask them to do, maybe what a pro-style offense is having?
Well, the biggest thing, if you go back and look at a lot of these guys' high school tape, tight ends now are really receivers now when you start recruiting. Pretty much every kid that I've evaluated, and I've evaluated probably 80 tight ends this year in this class, most of them are already playing on the perimeter. So you go back and look at guys' film like Jack Stahl, he played a lot on the perimeter. Austin Allison right down the road played a lot on the perimeter. You look at Cam Jerkins from right down the road. He played a lot on the perimeter and also on the other side of the ball. So a lot of these guys played there. The biggest thing is trying to teach those guys how to play like they're fast receivers on the outside, being able to maneuver off linebackers, being able to understand coverage, and how to get down the football field, being able to make the adjustments, as far as coverage is the biggest thing for those guys right now.
So would Ben Miles, would he be with you in your room, or is he in the room with Coach Hell?
He's in the room with Coach Hell. Obviously, with a kid of his nature, they had a fullback. We're going to be smart enough to understand and utilize kids like that, maybe some short yardage situations or 4-minute offense, try to put together a package for guys like that down in the red zone when we really need a yard. We're smart enough as an offensive staff to try to utilize pretty much everybody we have on our roster.
You have a few bigger guys in this recruiting class in your tight end room. A couple hybrid guys, mostly one that is already on campus with Justin McGriff. Where do you see him long term?
Well, right now, we're using him as a receiver. We're going to start him at the receiver because I like what I have at my tight end position, and we're a little bit light right now at receiver. So obviously Coach Frost came to me and said, hey, we need to move Justin over to wide out because that's what he played in high school. And then down the road, if he continues to grow, he's obviously going to slide in to tight end. But right now, currently, he's working with Coach Walters and really, from what I'm hearing, he's really doing a good job out wide.
And LeGrone would be a receiver too, or a tight end?
Continuing also, we're going to start at receiver. He's going to be kind of that hybrid kid that we're going to use in a slot. We had a kid last year from Alabama, a 220-pound kid that we basically built the package for him to be a tight end, to be out wide at receiver. So we have a lot of plans. We're continuing to do the same thing.
How much does it help you to have guys with the height of Kurt Rothwell and Austin Allen
The biggest thing with those guys is the length, which makes me smile. If I can just teach those guys basically how to maneuver off linebackers, because of their length alone, the quarterback is going to be able to throw the ball where nobody else is going to reach it. And, I have those guys pretty much daily working off how not to get rerouted. And that's the biggest thing for those guys. If they're not rerouted because they're 6'6", 6'7", there's nobody going to end up, if the quarterback throws the ball in the right spot, there's no way they will make a play on the ball. So use your height as your advantage. Obviously, they got to work on trying to maneuver those things, but those guys are starting to work with that.
Got a lot of guys in that room.
Yeah.
Is that a good problem to have, I guess? Because you got to coach a lot of dudes.
Well, that's my job as a coach to really keep them all involved. Make those guys all feel that they're a part of it. And when I first met them all as a group, that's one of the things I told those guys. Hey, we're a big family, and we're going to act like it. Somebody's got to be the starter, somebody's got to be the sixth guy, but we all gonna contribute, to this football team, and I think they bought into that. And my biggest thing, I like competition. So if a guy's not doing well one day, I'm gonna sit him down and put somebody else in there, and that's been my basically motto as a coach, to make sure everybody's competing on a daily basis in everything that we're doing.
Is it exciting that none of them have really ever started a game? Like, none of them are going to go into this camp thinking I'm the guy, because none of them have been.
Well, I got one that thinks, I'm not going to mention his name already, he thinks he's the guy already, which I like,
Is that Jack?
That's Jack.
Okay.
That's Jack. Which he probably, because he's played a little bit, and
right.
those other guys really have not. He really thinks he's the guy, and he's really taking ownership of really being the guy, the captain of the group thus far.
Okay.
So I'm excited really to work with him, and really excited to work with the rest of the guys, because they've shown the passion and love of football again. Apparently, meeting with those guys, they had lost that passion. They really have shown that they really want to get going, and they're in love and very enamored with this offense. Every day that we met with them this week, those guys will say, "Hey, coach, this is something new, but it's not new. We just basically may turn something a little bit differently, and basically they make the adjustment like that. They're very, very intelligent kids."
You have a unique perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You were a coach who was part of a 12-0 team.
Mm-hmm.
2 years prior, part of an 0-12 team.
Mm-hmm.
They were the same team, many of the same players.
Correct.
So you got to see Coach Frost kind of transform that piece. When you think about the one or two things that he did the very best to turn it from 0-12 to 12-0, what was it? Because I got to think that's one of the reasons you're here.
One of the major things was changing the culture of basically the whole UCF culture. He wanted his kids to be a family, and from day one, we were lacking it. We were fragmented. We had guys over here, and we came all together. You can see that, really, really early on, start to materialize, and that really, really helped us when things got tough down the stretch. And last year, it really, really showed. When games got tough down the stretch, everybody banded together and found a way to get it done. And that was the reason why we went undefeated last year, because of the family culture that we built. First of all, with the staff that we have. It's a tremendous family. The most cohesive staff that I've ever been around. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to come up here with these guys. I didn't want to let these guys down because of what we've done and how important we all mean to each other. Our wives get along well. It's almost to the point. Right? It's almost to the point now where we all kind of know what each person is going to do on a daily basis. So very excited to get to work with this staff again.
Was it hard to get your wife to leave Florida?
Actually, she was the one that really, said, "Hey, you got a good thing with this staff." And
money talks too, right?
Well, UCF obviously tried to come back with a package really was very comparable, but sometimes you got to make a change in life, and for me, it was a situation where I just felt that I needed to move with this group of coaches, and the benefits, you don't see them now, but I know down the road they're going to basically you'll see them all come back to roost.
Is it rare too that a guy like Frost is going to get the stability here at a place like this? Because if you go to the SEC, as we've seen, a couple of these guys got 2-3 years. They're pretty good coaches, but you don't hear. I think Frost, everyone assumes, is going to get the amount of time it takes to win.
Yeah, that's the beauty of Coach Frost and his management skills. He made sure that everybody on the staff, was a part of his decision to make this move, and I think he trusted me. When he told me, "Hey, my wife," I told him my wife has given me clearance to come up here. He was just basically ecstatic, and he knew then I needed to go to Nebraska. Florida and Tennessee and all these other places that were courting. He knew he needed to come back home to Nebraska, and I think that kind of basically solidified him making that call to come back up here.
We know that you got the UCF offer. Were there other schools that were recruiting you as an assistant coach other than Nebraska and UCF?
Well, every year I've had people calling, but I would never entertain anybody else for some reason. you know, that kind of shows my commitment to UCF, which, you know, I'm still very committed to the UCF program. If those guys call me and need anything down there, you know, obviously I want to make sure they're good too if I can help them. But you know, that goes to show you, you know, the gravity of what Coach Frost means to me and the rest of the staff. For me to leave that and then to come up here.
So Nebraska's been trying to recruit Georgia for a long time, specifically Atlanta, and they got a few players like Aaron Williams and safety. But you seem to kind of crack the code. Caleb Tanner, I know he plays defense, but coaches have told me that you're one of the reasons he's here. And Breon Dixon, also from Atlanta, you're one of the reasons he's here. One, why has Atlanta become such a hotbed for great players? And two, how have you been able to convince those kids to come up here?
Well, the quality of coaching has been really, really good up in the Atlanta area. You know, you start looking at how well these kids are coached, and really Atlanta's become really a hotbed.
Yeah.
You know, like Miami, things have kind of reversed course now. Atlanta, if you look at Atlanta this year, they're loaded with talent. You know, with the situation with Caleb, you know, got to know his coach quite well, and you know, obviously if you connected in with all the coaches and basically all the staffs around the state, they all kind of talk. Hey, you know, I had a coach call me and say, you know, Georgia dropped this kid. You got to get back in there. So obviously we picked up the phone, you know, and basically the rest is history. We started our work, you know, to really get the kid. And the biggest thing with, you know, recruiting kids like Caleb Tanner, I think the biggest thing for us to get Caleb was when we took Coach Frost and the rest of the staff. I took them all to Caleb's mom's work. She works at a school. And basically Coach Frost went over and started assisting. They were getting ready for assembly, and he started assisting the staff, putting up chairs for an assembly, and the mom kind of looked over there like, I want my son to. Eventually, at the end of the day, that was one of the main reasons why mom pushed her son up here, because she knows her son is going to be in great hands. For the head coach of Nebraska to go over and help these guys here at elementary set up for assembly was just, she couldn't believe this.
Is there